Okay, so let's say I've got a reaction that is N2 plus 3H2 produces 2NH3. So anytime that you're doing a conversion, whether it be from moles to moles or grams to moles or moles to grams or grams to grams, at some point you're going to need to use your mole ratio. So for that, you need to look at the coefficients. So for N2, there's no number here as a coefficient, so remember that that is implied to be as a 1. The coefficient for hydrogen gas is 3, and the coefficient for ammonia is 2. So let's say I want to go from, let's say the problem says you've got 6 moles of ammonia, and you need to convert to how many moles of hydrogen. Okay, so we're going to start with what's given. Let's say 6 moles of ammonia is given to me. Okay, so I write what's given to me, and then I bring down the units, moles of ammonia, and I want to convert moles of ammonia to moles of hydrogen gas. So this right here is my mole ratio. And so now I look up in my equation, my original equation, I'm going to look at the coefficients. I'm going to write the coefficient for hydrogen gas, which is a 3. And then I'm going to write the coefficient for ammonia, which is a 2. And there's my mole ratio. The ratio, what this says is that for every 3 moles of hydrogen gas I have 2 moles of ammonia. So my ratio is 3 to 2. So you would just do the math. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So I would have 9 moles of hydrogen gas. Let's look at another example. Let me clear this real quickly. So if I'm asked to go from, let's say, moles to grams, so let me clear this, and I'm using the same equation. Let's say I want to go from, let's say I'm given 12 moles of nitrogen gas, and I want to convert that to how many grams of ammonia. Okay, so I'm going to start with what's given to me. I'm given 12 moles of nitrogen. All right, so I'm going to bring down my units, moles of nitrogen. And the only thing that moles of nitrogen can convert to is either grams of nitrogen or moles of what I'm searching for. So in this case, I want to convert to ammonia, NH3. So this is my chance to convert to something different. So I can go from moles of ammonia to moles of the substance I want to solve for, which is NH3. So now I'm looking at my ratio. So find the coefficient for NH3 in the equation, and it's a 2. So I'm going to write a 2 here. And then write my coefficient for N2 in my equation. It's actually a 1. So I'm going to put a 1 there. So now I need to continue moving forward because I'm at moles of ammonia. I want to go to grams of ammonia. So I'm going to add another step. I'm going to write my unit, moles of ammonia. And now moles of ammonia can convert to grams of ammonia. Okay, so now what I have here is a molar mass conversion. So this is molar mass, and this is a mole ratio. So the only time you use the coefficients is when you have a mole ratio. The molar mass, even though I've got moles here, this is how many grams are always in 1 mole. So this number is always going to be a 1. Anytime I've got moles in grams or moles on top and grams on the bottom, I'm always going to have 1 mole because it wants to know how many grams of ammonia are in 1 mole. So this is where we use our atomic masses from the periodic table. So you would take the mass of nitrogen, which is 14.007. I've only got 1. And then you're going to find out the mass of 3 hydrogen, so 1.008 times 3. Let me zoom out here a little bit. So 14.007 plus 3.024 gives us, was it 17 point something? Yeah, 17.03. And so now I would multiply straight across 12 times 2 times 17.03. You see here, it gives you 12 times 2 times 17.03 gives you, and I'll write this down here at the bottom, 408.72. And then across the bottom, I've just got 1 times 1 in this case, which is 1, which just gives me 408.72 grams. Okay, so anytime you've got moles and moles, this is a mole ratio. This is the only time you use the coefficients in the equation. When you've got moles and grams, or grams and moles, this mole is always going to be 1. You're never going to use the coefficient from the equation because this wants to know how many grams do I have in 1 mole. So in other words, if I have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of NH3, that's equivalent to 1 mole. If I put that on a scale, it would weigh 17.03 grams.